There's a war going on right now, a war that I certainly had no idea I would even be a part of. 4 days ago, I reviewed an article in a paper saying how it was unusual that a flock of American robins had showed up to Central Texas around this time of year. I had no idea at that time that I would see those same American robins showing up right here in my hometown just a few days later. And I posted that video because I found it to be truly extraordinary. And when I say there's a war going on, it's a war that I don't think any of us can avoid. Two years ago, I wasn't even that interested in birds. Not because I didn't like them, just because I was uneducated. I didn't realize their importance, and I really had no aspirations to learn more until I saw my spark bird, of course. February 8th, 2019, I saw my first flock of American robins. It actually kind of amazed me. I'd never seen birds fill the sky like I did that day. I actually still have that footage here. And you can hear me mentioning in the footage how, what kind of birds are
what
these?
kind of birds are these? I don't understand. Definitely impressive.
That could have been my spark bird had I been more aware and alert to my environment at that time. I was still a new resident here at my new property and didn't know a whole lot about birds at that time. But then last year, February 19th of 2020, I saw my second flock of American robins. I realized that I remembered seeing them the year prior, couldn't remember the dates, but luckily my phone keeps up with all that. And I had at that time begun my interest in birds, and I photographed and filmed them a little bit. This year, earlier than ever, I'd seen my first flock of American robins again this year. In fact, it was early February this time. So like the article we talked about 4 days ago, the birds showed up sooner than they had previously. And I saw these birds swarming at a very busy industrialized region in my area at a CVS pharmacy, swarming East Black Holly. And at one moment, I saw these American robins in their vast numbers swooping everywhere in the sky, and a mockingbird was so confused it was just standing its ground when an American robin actually dive bombed and scared this mockingbird from its perch. Now that mockingbird is a bird species that spends its entire year in one location. I have several mockingbirds around my property and have seen them posted in the same areas throughout my town. Those are usually the same exact specimen that you see time and time again. And that mockingbird was at war with these American robins for the resources that it had held on to that whole year. And it blew my mind to think about that a little deeper and think of how an animal became dependent on one particular spot and had found all of the resources it needs not only to stay there over the year, but to live, breed, and reproduce. We're talking about water, food, and shelter. That mockingbird was at competition, was at war with the American robins. And I realized that there just isn't enough resources for these American robins and these vast populations of American robins to sustain. And that they have to migrate at different times of the year, every year, and they're always seeking that next food source. And it's really up to us to make sure we do everything in our power. The war is on our home front. It's our problem. These birds are so ecologically important. It's up to us to make sure that native species are put back in places that have been damaged by our actions. We need to restore the damaged habitats and ecosystems in order to conserve our very underestimated, valuable resources we do have. And wildlife certainly should strike the hearts of every individual. And I know if you're watching this video, wildlife has already struck you at your core and your heart. So I just want to say thank you all for watching this video. And if you found any value at all, hit the like button. It supports wildlife conservation. It helps the message get out there. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Peace. It's right in front of me. I gotta get up there. You can kind of see it, but I just saw the hugest flock of American robins all coming into these trees. I gotta get up here and get some good footage of this. Right over here. The American robins. Look at them. Sorry about that.